Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to talk real quick on what people call karma and what in the Bible we call it reaping what you sow. So let's jump in. So when you meet the narcissist and after the narcissist relationship is over, a lot of times what many people think is they don't get their reaping, their negative reaping, or what some people on this platform call karma. And so why is that? What's going on there? I have talked about this, and there's a new perspective that I wanted to add to what I have already said. And that is because the narcissist flips energy with people, right? So when they come to you, they fall in there and they think they're in love. Okay. With every new source supply, they get infatuated and they think they're in love. And only to do the same thing over and over again because they lack foresight, right? But they lack foresight, which makes them feel the feelings of love. But what they're really feeling is the infatuation and the excitement. They're feeling that, and it also is the same hormones and endorphins are used when you feel excitement and or infatuation from meeting somebody where you can't feel love. It's the same feeling. The same thing is the same hormones are used in your body. So they think they're in love, but what it's doing is it's kind of raising their vibration, right? And it's raising your vibration in the very beginning because you feel like you met some sort of soulmate, right? And we know that it is an imposter later on. But as they start to drain you and then project onto you and discard you, what happens is they need for another challenge. They get bored and they need another challenge, and there's not a whole lot of energy or fuel that is there for them. So they're going to jump to a new source supply because you're also starting to give them a narcissist injury every time that you start to, when they lay into you with negative projections, you kind of send it right back at some point because you get tired of it and you're running low on fuel and it's not fair. So that's why do they run away so fast, is because they can't handle narcissist injuries, because narcissist injuries puts them closer to narcissistic collapse. And when they leave you, you start to chase them, and then you're pouring out more fuel, and then you're ruminating. So they're actually receiving all of that fuel, that energetic energy from you, even while they're gone. That's why I say you could be their primary source supply and not even be with them if you're just continually feeding that beast. Okay, and my point is they bring you down to such a low level because they project onto you all their negativity and all of their shame, all of their sin soul energy, and they take all of your good energy, right? So they actually stay in a high vibration when they leave you. But you are in the dumps. In fact, you're in the dumps for a long time, depending on how long you've been in discard or devalue mode before you get discarded. What that does is it brings your whole vibration down. So, but what is it doing to the narcissist? It's raising them up because they're able to come home and throw all their trash onto you and then get you to internalize it and believe it. And then a lot of times we wonder, how are they able to avoid reaping the negativity that they should be reaping? We feel that it's not fair. It's because what they're doing is when they come in, they're excited and infatuated. They lack foresight. This is what the negative energy does to them. It has them to, it's built into them that it causes them to not remember that every relationship they've ever been in, everyone they're going to get into, it's going to be a new dose of they fell in love. And so anytime that you're in a fall in love state, so kind of like a infatuation state, an excited state of mind or state of being, you're going to have energy, good fuel, and good things are going to come to you. A lot of times good things will come to you because you're vibing high. You ever hear that? Let's vibe high. Well, when you're excited and you're having fun, you're vibing high. But what the narcissist does is after they meet you, they project all of their negativity onto you. And this is not just that they're doing this. They believe that you're the problem. Because that's the other thing. The negative energy inside them convinces them that you are always the problem. So they don't even feel that shame and that sin. And those negative things that they've done, a lot of times they don't feel it. They throw it on you and make you believe you did it in some other sort of way. And when you accept that energy and that fresh, good soul energy comes vibing right into them, unbeknownst to you. And you are, a lot of times, in most cases, internalizing this. You're believing because you were born into that family that led you to not, in a lot of ways, not understand what energy is yours and what's not, what to absorb that you should be responsible for and what's not. The narcissist doesn't care. And then, they talk a lot of times that the narcissist likes that evil, that fear, right? Why do they like that fear? The more I think about it, it's because they live in a fear-based and shame-based reality. I mean, their core is that. Meaning, if they don't have high energy, right? And if they don't have a lot of high energy to flip so that they can feel great, because they're throwing it on somebody, right? So that's not the truth of what's happening, but they make you believe it's the truth. And they take your energy. So this is a complete theft of your fuel. And like I say, I've said before, your good fruits, all of your good fruit goes to them when you're with them. Because you have to believe the mask, right? And that's the false self. And if you believe the mask and a false self, to believe that is to accept everything that's projected onto you and absorb everything that is negative and give them all of your goodness. And when you stop doing that, the narcissist has to jump to a new source of supply because they want to vibe high all the time. And a lot of times they get source after source that is going to get them to first feel when they come in, feel the feelings of excitement and infatuation, which to them feels like love. And because they lack foresight, they forget or don't even remember that the same thing happened the last time. They don't learn from their mistakes, right? But also their mistakes are set up to feed that negative energy inside them. It's programmed that way. But a lot of times we start to try to look at it from an empathic point of view, and they are not neurotypical. They don't think like us. And so you got to look at it from a different angle with a different perspective. They're almost the opposite of us. So why do they pump all this fear and shame into you and get you to believe it? Because this is what they live on. And they have to get rid of that as well. So they project that onto you. And they like it because that's where they get their most negative reaping from. And that gives them a high vibration too. They could throw, it's like if you were at the swap meet and you traded, if somebody was willing to give you happiness for your fear, I mean, of course you're going to do that. I'll give you all my fear if they were on the other side of the table. I'll give you all my fear and you give me all your happiness when you look at it like that. So that's what they're doing. I'll give you all of my shame and you give me all of your joy. And this is what they're doing with you. And it's unbeknownst to you in most cases. But because you were grown up in these families and you were used and projected on all your life, right? And then what happens when they get you to internalize it? What happens then? Then you're perpetuating that negative energy. You're shaming yourself, right? But we always say to love yourself. But you're not loving yourself when you're projecting what the narcissist told you you were, and what they're doing, they project onto you over and over, and you just believe it. But you're innocent of it. And we wonder why they have good things happen and good things come to them. Now, it's not going to be all the time. What they're trying to avoid is getting into narcissistic injury. That's why they're always running when that happens. They are gone. They will ghost you, they will leave you, and they will give you time. And when they come back, you can't talk about whatever it was that you were right about, that you were arguing about, because you are right. And they know that. So they'll give you a fake apology and they'll come back. But you have to start over with them. Isn't that what they tell you? You always got to start over. Because if you were to start up the relationship again with them, say cycle 2, and you're going to have to hash out that last argument right away. It's going to start off with a narcissist injury. So instead, you have to agree to start over, and that you have to feed the mask. And when you go against the mask, you are giving them an injury, a narcissist injury, and they can't have that. They cannot have a narcissist injury, because narcissist injury is what leads them to a downturn. And if they keep continually running out of supply, and they're not smart enough with the way that they operate their sources of supply, and if they can't continually get them lined up in their pipelines and knocked down, see, the narcissist, then they're going to have a narcissist collapse. They have to have somebody to project onto, and they have to be able to, they have to accept it. The narcissist, a lot of times, they run on a fear-based lifestyle, and they run on a shame-based lifestyle, but only when they have to deal with it. When you're there and you accept it, then they switch with you and they don't even think about it. They're not running in fear then.